Okay, so good evening, guys. So we'll be continuing our Jenkins session. So uh, we'll be continuing with our Jenkins. I think it's a day 9 session, right? Jenkins day 9 session. Yeah, Jenkins day 9. Some of you would ask me for the notes. Yeah, I'll upload the notes, the latest notes, whatever you have, right? I'll upload it by today. After this session, I'll upload it. So today we will be having a day 9 session. And in the last session, you see, right, we learned about how to manage the nodes. It means that whenever we want to add any nodes, right? So basically, you have a Jenkins master, and if you want to build multiple projects, then a single Jenkins server cannot handle it. So that's the reason you create nodes. And after you create a nodes, you configure it and you try to manage that node or nothing, but you try to configure node in such a way that like the Jenkins or not what the master Jenkins server can delegate the work to the worker nodes with the help of a label. And also, like we had even discussed about what is the manage plugin and all, and we saw some one of the plugin, right, by installing one of the plugin like a dashboard plugin, right. So we saw how to like check all the plugins available and all. Later in the upcoming sessions, right, you will be seeing like we will be doing installing many more plugins, and we will be trying to play around with the plugins, installing and installing and all, because that is a major part of our work on a day-to-day activity, right. Based on your requirement, right, you tend to install your required plugin actually. So we would be working on few more plugins. Okay. Now, so what is the today's topic actually? So today's topic is nothing but we will be learning about the build triggers actually. So I had discussed about, or I had told in the last class itself that we would be discussing about the build triggers. So this is one of very important topic, guys. One of the very important topic is on build triggers, right? So build trigger is that actually like when the project should be built. So when the projects should be built. So that is a question actually. So it means that, see, for example, whenever any development activity goes on, right, every company when they're working on a project, right, they follow some process actually. And usually in the industry, like most of the industries, they're following the agile process. So your your DevOps is also integrated with your agile process. It means that we are following up the agile process where we have deliverables, right? It means that when you're working on agile process, you need to work with agile methodology. It means that you have to work into some kind of a sprint structure where like each and every feature check-in, right, it happens over a period of a time which we call the sprint. Usually in the industry, what happened, right, when we are following agile methodology, we will see that all the teams to work together, like development team, testing team, even DevOps team, and many other support teams, right, every team works together in an agile process. So it means that whenever you want to deliver any kind of new features or any fixes to an existing product, or you are launching a new product, you will follow the agile process wherein you will try to create some kind of a sprint. Sprint means basically that it is a period where right, it will be calculated like whether we'll be able to achieve some kind of a deliverables. Suppose you have a product where you are adding some features to the product. Suppose that you are having a billing product and you are adding some more 5 features based on the customer requirement, right? You need to add some more features like 5 or 10 features. So you cannot do it in 1 or 2 months. So basically, like you will come with the evaluation like how much time it will take to implement all these features. Suppose you need to implement some 10 features to an existing billing product. So what happened? The senior architect, right? What he will do, right? He will come up with the document where he will say that okay, these are the features are there. This is what the customer required, and these are the features will go along with an existing product, and this might take around 6 months of time to deliver. But do you think that the customer will wait for 6 months time for for the features to be implemented? No, he'll not wait. Or else what happened, right? Out of 10, you might commit to the customer saying that within 1 or 2 months we will give you some 2 or 3 features to you the existing, and the rest another 2 or 3 months, right? We will try to give you another 3 or 4 features. Like that, we will divide some 10 features in a span of 6 months actually. So to fastly achieve the implementation, testing, and everything, and finally giving these features to the customer, right? Basically, we follow the agile process actually. In the agile methodology, what happened, right? There's a 6 months of time, and you need to deliver the 10 features to an existing product. Like we have a billing product, you need to add some 10 features to an existing product, right? So what happened, right? Using the agile methodology, you create something like a sprints. It means that you will say that Rajesh, I will try to have some 6 sprints, sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, like that up to sprint 6. Each sprint, most of the industry follow the sprint time between 3 to 4 weeks actually. It means that a sprint, one sprint could be a 3 weeks or it could be max to the 4 weeks actually. 4 weeks means it is nothing but it is 1 month time. So usually most of the industries you will see that they'll be having a sprint of 1 month of time actually. So within that 1 month of time, guys, 1 month of time, you will be releasing some features actually. You'll be releasing some features. It could be a feature, also it could be a like a defect fix, some major defect you might found in existing product. To fix it, you might go with the defect fixes actually. So there are many things which happens over the release. In a release, new feature will code check in, right? If any defect fixer, that will go at it, any improvisation is there, that will go in it, whatever some blockers are there, right, in your product, so you will release some patch or something. A lot of stuff happens during the release time actually. So in each and every sprint, what happened that you will deliver some kind of the features to the customer. So usually what happened, right? So in every organization, generally, right, generally organization. So, guys, I'm not really going into much into this agile process and all. I'm just telling you, very high level that you have a sprint, and each and every sprint has a duration of 3 to 4 weeks. So, within the 3 to 4 weeks, what happened, right? You need to work on some features, right? For example, as I said, like some 10 features are there, and if you're committed, your company have committed, or your lead has committed that we will deliver around 3 features into the sprint one, or into the first month of that sprint, right, or into the first month of the release. Then what happened that all the developers, testers, DevOps, they'll start working together for completion of the 3 features plus some of the defect fix also. So in that way, what happened that if we are choosing 4 weeks of time, so the sprint, each sprint will be 4 weeks of time. So in that 1 month, you will be doing a lot of activity. So there is something known as the Scrum is there, and we have something known as Scrum teams. So usually what happens, the whole work will be divided across different teams. So a Scrum team A, B, C will be created, and each and every Scrum team, right, will have some 4 to 5 engineers working together, right, to achieve a common goal. So those are the lot of concepts are there. I'm not really getting into that. And we have something like a sprint, no, like a Scrum team is there. Each and every Scrum team has a Scrum master, and that each and every scrum master will manage all the features, what are the tasks which is given for each and every scrum team, right? So the scrum master will manage all the duration. It means that how much time we are taking it, what are the major blockers are there on day-to-day activity, those things and all are pointed by the scrum master. And finally what happened, right, he will always have a sprint meetings every day. So every day duration of something like 15 minutes, right, where each and every member of that scrum team, he has to give no the reporting, or he has to give his his work, whatever he did on that particular day, right, he has to give a report on that. So if he's working on some features, right, he can tell that, yeah, I'm working on the features, so I added this number of lines of code, I'm doing a testing, I'm doing a unit testing. So like that, many of the inputs will be given by the developer, as well as the tester also, he will give his own inputs on whatever he did on day-to-day activity. Similar, the DevOps team also, he will give his his day-to-day activity report. So during that stand-up meeting, right, every day we'll have a meeting actually that we call as a stand-up meeting. So in that stand-up meeting, we'll give all kind of a details to the Scrum Master, so that Scrum Master will be in sync with the whole team's output, like whoever what are the features which all the people are working, where we are standing, right, how much time it is been taken, and what are the blockers, major blockers are there, how I can actually fix all those blockers so that we can proceed further to the next level. All those things are managed by the scrum masters actually. So these are all some of the concepts which comes under your agile methodology. So usually what happen in the agile methodology, or generally in the organization, right, usually they follow 2 types of builds actually. 2 types of builds. So what are those 2 types of builds? One we called as a day builds. I'm sure that some of you might have heard about all this. One we call the nightly builds. So these are 2 types of builds you have, guys, actually. Okay. So these are 2 types of builds you have. Day builds and night builds actually. Okay. Now, what are day builds actually? So day builds are the builds. done during active development. So it means that whenever the developers are doing active development onto the feature or onto the product or whatever, right? So during that time, what happened, right? You will try to do with the day builds actually, right? So here what happened, right? Most of the developers, suppose like if there are 20 developers who are working on these features actually, all the 20 developers, what they will do, like, they will try to do a commit. They'll try to like commit their code, everything to the repositories, right? And then what happened that they will try to do some kind of an integration test. It means that they try to verify whether whatever the code which they have written, whether it's working or not, right? So as soon as a developer he pushes the code into some of the versioning control system or into the source code management or nothing but Git, usually what happens is he will tend to try to run some kind of a tend to run some kind of a build process, or he'll try to run some Jenkins job where it does some kind of build activity. And finally what happened that you will try to integrate and you will try to verify. You will also run the unit test also to verify whether whatever the code we have written, right, it is working or not. So what happens usually, the developer will write all the code in his local machine. First, he will do a manual, little bit of manual testing he will do in his system on the local. Once he confirms that, okay, things are working fine, whatever the early bits which I'm writing, right, that's all working fine. So to make sure that the integration should pass, what he will do, no, he will try to push the same code into the source code repository or into the Git actually. So usually when you, as soon as you push the code into the Git, you know the process that, okay, there is some Jenkins job which I have written that I need to call the Jenkins job. That Jenkins job, what happened, right? It triggers the build. It means that it will trigger, it'll try to call one Jenkins job where it'll try to pull the code and it does some kind of a build activity, right? So that's what every day, the developer will do, because that the developer has to take care of developing the features, right? So he'll start writing the code. It is not like it is one developer who's writing. There are multiple developers are there who will be doing simultaneously code check-ins onto the same file or onto the different files, right? It could be anything. So a lot of people are working on it, right? So that's what happened, right? During the build time, during the day build means where active development is going on. So don't get confused, guys. You might think that, okay, day builds is something like it is happening during Sunday or to the sunny day or nothing but the day when there is a sun, or and nightly build something like there is a moon, okay, where the nightly build happens during moonlight or moon time. No, not like that actually. You have to understand that day build is something like where there is an active development is going on by the developer. When the developer is actively working on it, during that time, whatever the build you do, that we call the day build. So basically, what happened, right? See, what happened, usually what happened in industry, right? Basically, they will set a time. Like for example, if 20 developers are developing a feature, it is not like that if one person will do a code commit means automatically the build should trigger into the Jenkins. Not like that. They will keep some kind of time slice. Okay, fine. We'll say that every 1 hour there has to be a new build should go on, just to verify. So in the duration of that one hour, maybe there might be a lot of commitment might have happened from different developers. Developer one, developer two, developer three. They might do a commit on within that 1 hour. So what happened, right? Within a slice of 1 hour, how many number of commits happening? That the whole commit will be taken in a totality, and what happened? A build will be triggered like that, right? Or else what happened, right? You might say that, okay, Rajesh, whenever any code check-in is happening by the developer, at that time only you trigger a build. Okay, it could happen. It means that every second or every minute, if a new build, if a new code commit is happening, right? You want to trigger a build actually, or you need to check whether the integration is working or not properly. So that is also possible, right? It means that every time, whenever if there are 20 developers are there, if all the 20 developers are committing the code one after the other, or within some like within a fraction of some 20 minutes or 10 minutes, each and every person are doing commit, you said that, Rajesh, I need to have a build to be triggered actually. Yeah, that is also possible. But what happened, right? It depends upon your project size. It depends upon the build server, because your build server should be, it should be so much it should have so much high configuration that even though you are trying to do multiple check-ins, right, multiple commits you're doing, right, simultaneously a lot of builds should get triggered. So what happened, there will be a lot of load into your Jenkins server. So your Jenkins server should also handle a lot of loads also, right? So usually what happened, right, if you go to the Facebook company, you see, right, what usually happens, right, they'll be doing lot of code commits. There'll be hundreds of developers, they'll be keep doing. And in Facebook, what they say, right, for each and every commit what is done by the developer, I need a build, they say. So in that case, you see, you can understand that in Facebook company where they have configured or they have installed the Jenkins or whatever the CI/CD pipeline tool which they are configured, right? The configuration of that, it will be very high actually, because lot of build will be keep going on parallelly, one after the other, right? It will be it will be like concurrent builds are happening actually. So there that happens. Sometime what happen in some industry, they say, no, I don't need that much of frequent build, man. I need only 1 hour as a time slot. Okay, within 1 hour or every 2 hours, I need one build. So what happened, guys? Usually, what happened in the day build depend upon the project, depend upon the size of the project, and depend upon your build server capability or capacity. You will try to, you will try to assign, or you will try to make sure that in what time slice your build should go on. So what happened, right? Usually we have a something known as a we have something like a two options are there. There could be multiple options. I'm just saying two options are there. What are those two options? So build for every change pushed by the developer. So that's what I'm saying, that in many industries it happens, like in Facebook it happens actually, right? Usually in whenever any commit is done by the developer, right? Oh, okay, try to trigger a build. So in that case, what happened, right? Your Jenkins server should be very strong enough to handle concurrent builds. After that, what you do that? So, or else what you say that no, Rajesh, I don't need it, because this is very frequent actually, because every commit means if 100 people are committing, 100 build has to take care, right? So if any one build breaks that, then it will be a problem. You need to sit and debug why it got failed and all. So that could be a number of reasons. So sometime what happened, right? Now pushing so much, triggering so much build also will be monitoring all those builds also will become very difficult actually. So that's the reason what happened, right? So what people say that build for every 1 hour or 2 hours in active working timing. So guys, do you agree with me with these statements? Guys, I want to know your input. Do you agree with these statements?
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubts you have? Any doubts you are having? We just started, I know, but I'm just telling you. Any doubts still until here? No? Okay. So you know that once the build is triggered means once the integration happens, right? Even like what happened, right? Once the commit is done, what happened? You trigger a build. After the trigger, what it does, it goes to the build process. It's going to run the unit test, right? And if there is any static code analysis, that static code analysis has to be taken care. And if you're trying to, after the build is completed, what is the zip or var or here, right? That you need to push a nexus. So you'd be doing many operations during the integration actually. So it means that whenever any build process happens, the unit test also get passed. You need to finally even give the report of the unit test result. You have to provide to the developer. So developer will get to know. So what you have to do that, guys? So we are supposed to give feedback to the developer on their commits. Like that is, if the build is passed, if the build is passed until the build is passed, what is that? Unit tests are passed and code coverage. Code coverage is okay. Static code analysis is okay. So for etc. For everything, right? You need to give a feedback. So this is very important. So as part of this, what happened, right? Once the build is completed, there is a way where you need to provide all these details actually. You could either trigger an email once the build is completed. What happened, as soon as the build is completed, you need to trigger and some kind of a alert notification to the developer. So what happened, alert notification in sense like once the build is completed, what happened, basically email will be triggered or email notification will be sent to the developer. So developer, if he opens that email, no, in that email he will get to know all the result or the feedback of the whole build process. So right, so whether the build has passed or failed, whatever might be the status, right, he will get the email. So if you go through the email, he will understand, okay, what is the status of the build, what is the state of the unit test, whether it's passed or not, what is the code, how much code coverage is did, right? Whether it is covering up to 90% of code coverage or 92% of code coverage, what are based on your settings, whatever you have set, right? So and also the static code analysis report, everything, guys, he will get an email actually. Whether it's passed or failed, he has to get an email. So that's what it happens during build time. So during day build time, usually testing doesn't happen because here what happened, right? Developer is still developing the code. Okay, he is trying to write some code and he's trying to work on such a way that he tried to finish to write the code for that particular feature. He will try to read, right? So once he is confirming that okay, everything is working fine, then only he will give that early bits to the testing engineer, so that the testing engineer start working on it, right? So you could see that actually this report is very important, guys. Actually, you have to send this report to the developer, right? What about the night builds actually? So now you know that during day builds, actually, there are so many times the build goes actually, right? But what happens? The actual testing will remain. It means that suppose, like for example, your company is following a UK shift. Suppose assume that your company follows from morning afternoon 1 to 10. Usually the developers are all in your company, right? They usually comes at the afternoon time at 1 o'clock and they'll work up to 10 o'clock night. Okay, so what you do basically, you say that okay, Rajesh, from morning 1 to night 10, there are a lot of code commit has happened, and even like a lot of build also has been went inside. A lot of commit has been went inside into the Git also. But finally, what happened, right? You say that after I log out, like for example, the developer will log out at 10 p.m. night. Actually, you say that Rajesh, at 11:30 p.m. night, right? I need to do some kind of a build trigger on final build trigger. What the final build trigger will do? Whatever the code commit which is done by all the developer during the morning time or during the day build time, all those things together we need to take it. And also what happened, right? We need to trigger build a trigger where the whole feature, what are the features which has been which the code which has been code checking today, the whole build, the whole code has to taken care as a build one build. And finally what happened, right? It has to be pushed into the build server where it will go undergo the build. After the build is done, right, you will create a package and the package has to be installed into some test environment, and some kind of a testing should also run. It means that basically if you have any kind of a automated test, or if you're having an automated test suite, usually during night builds, what you expect that automated test suite has to get executed. Assume that your automated test might be Selenium, where you're trying to do a lot of testing, right? So you will try to invoke that Selenium test cases, right? So there what happened, right? You will be running a lot of different types of testing strategies. Like for example, you will be running a basic testing suite, or you will be learning something like operation testing. You might be running some regression testing, stress testing, performance testing. Like you need to run n number of different testing, so that you will try to certify or you try to verify that all whatever the code which has been committed by all the various developers, right, it is working fine. So what usually in the night builds happen, guys? Night builds, what you will do that consolidated builds for all the work done by the dev team, by the dev teams in one day. Correct? So on that particular one day, because that they have the whole day they have been working on a development activity and they've did a lot of push code commit, they have pushed, they have committed it. Finally, what happened, right? At the daytime, at the night time, what happened, right? You need to trigger a build. So during night time, what happened, right? When you trigger a build, along with the build trigger, along with the build trigger, along with building the packages, you need to even run a set of test suits also. So what you will do that? Okay. So usually what happened, right, guys? Night build always happen only once at a time. Actually, day build happens multiple times because here the developers are actively working. Because developers have to verify whatever the code which they have written and which are committed, right? Whether the build is the whether the code is getting built or not properly. So that's the reason what happened. Multiple builds happen during daytime or during day build time, whereas in night build only one time the testing happens. So it means that right night at maybe at around 11:30, during 11:30 p.m., right, the nightly build is triggered. Who will trigger it and all? it has to be automated process. Nobody there to sit in the office and he will trigger it like that, right? You need to do some kind of automated so that every day during from Monday to Friday, right? Every day at 11:30 night, right? There has to be automated build trigger should happen. That we call as a nightly build actually. So what happened, right? Build is done or build is taken care once in a day. So it is basically it is scheduled when no development is going on, when no development is happening or no development is going on. So it means that no developers are not working, right? After 10 o'clock, they'll usually log out, right? They'll do all kind of a code comments into the gate and finally they'll log out and they'll go home. So you need to trigger a build, right? During night time, what happened, right? You will trigger a build because, right, the testing suits, whatever the testers which they have written the test suits, right, that will take a lot of time to execute. Suppose you say that Rajesh, 11:30 I triggered the build, nightly build. How long it takes? It depends upon the product. Suppose if you're having a huge product and you're having a lot of features or a lot of modules are there. So based upon that, lot of test cases or a lot of different test suits have been written by the testing engineer. So if you are executing all the test suits, right, maybe what happened, right, it might take 5 or 6 hours or sometimes 10 hours it might take to execute actually. So usually what happened, right, you know that Rajesh, when I triggered the nightly build at 11:30, I know that morning 7 o'clock the build, the whole process will get completed. It means that even all the testings will get completed. You will know that actually because you will be working in the industry for a long time, right? You will know the whole time how much time it takes actually, right? So usually what happened, right, you the whole build process, like along with the testing, it will go for 6 to 7 hours actually, like that, or more than that actually. Okay, so usually what happened, right, the build should happen when the build should happen. What happened when build the code, when what will happen, when it does what exactly night build happens, guys? It'll do the build the code. It means that it will try to create a package. After that, you need to run the unit tests and you need to run even the static code analysis. You need to even run the some kind of a code coverage. Then run automated system tests, test suits and performance tests which require the application to be deployed. Okay, guys. So these are all the things which usually undergo during night builds, right? So build the code, after that unit test. Even this happens during daytime also. But what happened for every build commit or the code commit, this happens usually. But during night time, apart from this, right, you will be also be running this automated test suits also, where you'll be doing some kind of a system testing. You'll be doing, like for example, you'll be doing some basic testing, operation testing, stress testing, performance testing, regression testing, right? So many different testing techniques are there, right, guys? You need to even run all those test suits actually. So those test suits, everything are written by the testing engineers, right? The automation engineers, where they try to write all those test cases in by using some language. Either it could be a Python or either it could be Selenium. It depends upon your product, or either it could be even in C language also. Anything, it depends upon the product, right? They would have written some kind of a test cases actually, and they'll try to call the test suits along with your the other build activity. And finally, once this build activity is triggered, then what happened, right? Based on the condition, if all these conditions are passed, it means if this tests are passed, then only run the automated test suits. If any one of the build is failed, right, about unit test is failed, there is no use of running the automated test suits. So automatically what happened, the whole nightly build will get failed. So it will be nightmare for, again, nightmare for the developers. Why? Because, right, because once the nightly build trigger, right, so for the developers, night build, what are night builds will go, right, for them that result is very important for them. Because if anywhere, if that result is failed or there could be some n number of errors or issues while running the test suits and all, right, they are more worried about that, like, because it is ultimately a failure again the next day, right? They need to rework on everything, because if there is an issue with the night build, right, they cannot give the early bits to the testing engineer to do any kind of a testing. So the whole 1 day of testing time will get wasted. So that's the reason what happened. Once the nightly build complete, right? The next day, immediately what happened, the developers will have to go through all the reporting of the night build activity. If this is passed and all without any issue, yeah, they will feel like, okay, everything is fine. So now we can give a build, or else now we can give a code to the testing team so that they can do any kind of a testing what they need actually, right? So there are, apart from this, there are many other testings are there, right? Maybe like some kind of regression testing, the testing team want to do it because they want to do some kind of a manual testing also, right? So regression testing is basically something like, guys, I think you might know about the regression testing. See, basically, usually what happened, right? When you are working on a feature and you have developed some kind of a feature, right, that feature, whatever the new feature which you are adding to the existing product, right, that should not break the existing functionality of your product, or it should not disturb it. Suppose that you're adding a new feature, and if it is actually impacting the existing functionality, then there is an issue with what you're adding. Then there's an issue with that new feature. So usually what happens, right? Whenever you add any new features, so you will try, and whenever you integrate that new feature to an existing code, what usually the testing team will do, he will try to do some kind of a regression testing. So he will try to analyze, okay, what are the basic functionality of the product, is there, whether that is working or not first. After adding the new features, yeah, if it is all working fine, oh, it means that it is not impacting. If it is impacting any other way, then he will understand, okay, whatever the features which we are adding, right, that is causing an issue, they'll come to know. So all these things, they will catch everything through the regression testing suite. So these are all very important test suites or testing which we need to perform, right? Performance testing also, you know very well, we have already discussed in few sessions back, right? What is the performance testing? And also all this automated test suites and performance test suites should get executed during the night builds actually. That's the reason nightly build will take some extra time. It's like 5 or 6 or 7 hours it will take. And finally, after at the end of the day, you will get a report actually. So usually what happened, guys? Usually what happened, right? The day builds, right? Usually the day builds happens on a different branch. Suppose you have a Git. You know that you have a Git. You have a Git repo. Git is a your source code versioning tool. Suppose there's a master branch is there. So you know that all the code check-ins will happen master branch. But in the Git already earlier we learned that the code check-in directly will not happen on the master branch. So you need to create some kind of a branch actually where the code commit is being taken care by the developer. So something like you will create something like a sprint hyphen n hyphen develop, something like that. You will try to create some kind of a branch, right? So you'll try to create some kind of branch like this. So once you create the branch like this, so usually what happened, right? That branch, what happened? All the developers during the day build, they will try to commit all the code just into this new branch actually. So once these branches, so they'll do all kind of a day build activity into this branch case. So once this branch, whatever the code commit is done, once this builder day builds, if it gets success and if they're getting a positive results, what they'll do at the night, they'll try to merge this branch with the master branch. And then what happened, during nightly build, they will say that, so do a code checkout from this master branch and do all this activity. So usually what happened, night builds usually undergo with the master branch, and the day builds will basically go under the newly created branches where the code check-in happen by the developers. This is how it happens, guys. So during day builds, what happened, right? Generally, day builds are on different branch. Like for example, the different branch could be something like a development branch, or you could see that something like a sprint hyphen develop something, some branch name they will try to create like this, or else like sprint 2 dot develop hyphen develop anything, etc. like this. So you will tend to work on some branch actually. Correct, guys? So now, okay, here in the night builds, like, so for achieving running this all this test suits, right, or the performance test actually, you have a lot of test automation tools. Like what are the test automation tools? So tests might be developed using some test automation tools like you have Selenium, you have something like JMeter, Postman, some kind of a load runner. Load runner. This is basically used for achieving the performance testing, right? So they will run all the test suits actually, and all these builds happen usually on a different branch. So something like a release branch or something like on a master branch, right? So night builds, night builds, builds builds happens on different branch. Like for example, like something like release underscore something v1 underscore 1.0.0 1.0.0 underscore sprint one something like this in the under this branch what happened, right? The whole night build happens actually. So this is a branch actually. Whatever the code which you have written, suppose you have used the sprint one underscore develop, this code whatever you did a code check in by the developer, right? This finally this will be merged with this branch actually. And usually during night builds, this branch is the one from where the code checkout will happen, and it will try to run all this build activity happens everything through that from that branch actually. So am I clear, sir, till here? Okay. So now what we will do now, guys, we will try to do some kind of a build activity. Okay. And then we will see like how exactly we can create a branch, everything, and how we can perform this day builds or night builds and all. We will try to understand now. Is it clear? Till here, are you okay? Any doubts you have?
No, sir.
Okay. So here, okay, coming back to here. So I have basically I have all these servers. You know that in the last session, like I have created this node one and node two. If you remember, right? Node one is a location or it's a server, not location. I'm sorry, it's a server where like I have configured the JDK 8, right? Java version 8 as well as a Maven 3.6 is a version which is installed, right? Here what happened in the node 1, guys, I have already added the node actually with the Jenkins server, right? And I have given the label as something like JDK 8 is a label which I have given. So if you want to see it, I mean, if okay, let me first complete this. Let I'll tell you. So node two, what we have did here, you are here in this server, you have installed the OpenJDK 17, if I'm not wrong, and Maven 3.8.7 version which you have installed. And here what happened, you have given the label as JDK 17. So these are things which we already covered in the last session, right? Now, how to check it? If you go here, now you so know that this is a Jenkins server, this is manage one, now node one and node two, right? What you have to do first, you have to click on this, get the IP address of the Jenkins server, public IP, copy this, and give the port number 8080. So you are logged into your Jenkins dashboard. So here you will give the username and I'll give the password so that I can log into the Jenkins server. So this is my Jenkins and this is a Jenkins dashboard. And if you go to the manage nodes or manage Jenkins, sorry, manage Jenkins. Now here you could see that there is something like a manage nodes and cloud. Click on this. Here you could see that I have added this node, right? But here it is showing as an offline. You know the trick now because in the last session I had told you that because the node one, what we did, right? Node one is recording the OpenJDK 8. Now, right now it is pointing to JDK 8, but while launching it, it expects the Java to have a version more than 8. It means that it could be either 11, 13, or 17 or anything. Because now, right now in this server, it is actually pointing to the OpenJDK 8. That's the reason it is showing as an offline, right? So you could see that if you go here, node one, and if you go to the logs, see, it is not able to connect it. So it is not able to connect it. See, the Jenkins agent is not able to connect it. So what is the trick? What you have to do, guys? You have to come over here and then log into this node one. Node one, copy this public IP, node one, go to your downloads where you have putty, open this putty, load this Ubuntu at the rate, give this public IP and say open. So I'm just log into the server. So this is your node one, guys. So under the node one, if you check it, if I execute the history command, I remember that I had executed this command, right? Sudo update alternative. This is for just verifying whether what is the Java alternative you need. If you click execute this command, execute this command, you could see that it is pointing to the Java 8. That's the reason what happened, right? It is not getting connected. Now what you do that you try to change it to the 11. So what you give the value 0 and say enter. Now if you try to do a Java hyphen version, earlier it was pointing to 8, now it is pointing to 11. So once you're pointing Java to 11 now, right? Now go back here, go back to a Jenkins server, and here you could see that actually you can go back here under the node 1. Again, you try to do a launch the agent again one more time. If you click on this, now what happened, you could see that it is doing a successful authentication. See, agent successfully connected and online. So again here, click on this. It has come up. See, you could see that it has synced now. Now the node is active. It means that now the node is up, because here earlier it was having a Java 8. Java 8 has a problem. It means that your Jenkins agent cannot do any kind of a connection with your master with the Java 8. Java 8 is a very older version, right? So that's the reason. So I changed it to 11. Now again, what I will do, guys, I'll re-point back to 8 itself now, because I want to execute some projects, right? So I need a Java 8. So you try to execute the same command, sudo apt update hyphen alternative hyphen config Java. Now your Java is pointing to 11. Now you have to change it back to Java 8. So give the option 2. So I'll give the 2 and say enter. Now if you execute Java hyphen version, now you could see that, guys, it is pointed back to the Java 8, because this is what I required. Why you need a Java 8 required? Because because I need to build the game of life project. Game of life project, as you know, the condition is that for building the project you need a Java 8 or Java 8 version you need, as well as you need a Maven 3.6. This is what the prerequisite which it requires for this project actually. So that's the reason I'm doing a little bit of changing this all this like I'm trying to do a toggling between the Java 8 to Java 11 in that server node 1, right? So once you have changed it, now this will not go up, guys. If you go here again, now you could see that. See, we can refresh it again. See, it has already made a connection now. So once you seeing this in sync means, it means that those nodes are up. It means that the Jenkins can actually delegate any kind of a work to the node 1 or node 2. Node 1 you already configured as a label JDK8. If you want to see again, you can go to the configure, and here you could see that you already set as a label as a JDK8. Similarly, for your node 2, right, you have created a label known as JDK17. If you want to further see, you can go to the configure, and you could see that you have already set as a label as a JDK17. This is all we have covered in the last session. Okay. I'll come back here. So it is been there. So it means that node 1 and node 2 is already configured. It is in sync with your master. So, right now, so now what you will do, guys, actually, basically, I need to build a project, the game of life. I need to build a project to whichever node which is having this label JDK8. So I know that this JDK8 label, it is there, it has been configured in the node 1. And node 1 is already up and running and it is in sync. So I can trigger any kind of a game of life project under this node 1, that I know. It means that while creating a job, you will give the label, restrict where you are running. So you're restricting the project to be executed in the node 1 or into the label JDK8. So automatically what happened, Jenkins will try to trigger the job execution in the node 1. So this and all we had covered in the last session, right? So now what I'm trying to do here, guys, what I'll try to do here, now I will go with the game of life GitHub. So this is what the code of the game of life is. But so I can use this code directly, but I know that since I will be doing a lot of changes to this code in the near future now, I cannot do the code change directly with it, because here only options, read only option is available. You cannot write into it because this is a public repository, and somebody by name Vakilo, he has written the game of life code. So can I have a copy of this whole code, or can you have a fork of this code? Yeah, you can have a fork. Fork means you're just trying to copy it. It means that from here to your GitHub repository, right? You can actually clone, or you can even actually fork it. So what you'll do, guys, you'll come over here and you'll try to log into your GitHub account. So here what happened, right? I have already logged into my GitHub account, and this is my GitHub account ID, TechLeads23. This is what my GitHub ID, right? And this is what I've already signed in already. So I need not to, I've already signed in. And now what I will do here, I will come over here and I'll just try to do a fork actually. Fork means forking your copy. You're making a copy into your repository, into your GitHub repository. So come over here, just do a fork. As soon as I do a fork, you could see that it is taking you to the TechLeads 23. It is, which is my account, and it's saying that with the same name only I'm creating in this. Okay, fine. Copy the master branch only. Okay, fine. And just click on create fork. So it has been forked guys already. Now if you go to the GitHub account and if you refresh it, see, can you see here? Can you see here in the repository a cloned or forked has already come? Click on this. This is nothing but this is the fork code. Here you can do what are the changes you want. If you want to do some changes to an existing code, you can do here because this is your local copy now, which you have no forked from the main. So already forked from your main Vacalo, right? From there you try to fork it. Actually you got this copy here, you can do anything here, man. You can add any file, you can go to the any kind of source code file, and you can do editing, anything you want, you can do it actually. Am I clear, sir, till here? Is it clear? Because here what happened, right? Step by step you need to learn everything now.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay.
Sir, it's clear.
Okay, great. Now after you forked it guys, now what happened, right? Here you are running everything into the master branch. See, you have any other branches? No, sir, I don't have any other branches. So view all branches means only one branch is the master branch. But as I said, right, usually in the companies, right, they will not allow you to work in master branch. Suppose the developer is developing code, he will try to do always do a code checking into any one of the branch. It will be a kind of a different branch. So what I will do for this example, guys. So I'm already into the node one. So what I will do, I'll clear the screen. I'll do one thing. I'll just say mkdir game of life demo something. I'll create a directory. I'll go to the directory, and what I will do, I'll just do a git clone and give this git URL. See, you are so now you are into your this game of life is already forked one. If you copy, if you come over into code, you could see that this is nothing but your GitHub repository link. Actually, you have to copy this and come over here and so you're cloning the whole project here in your local machine, somewhere in local machine. So you already cloned it, and if you do an ls, so the whole game of life code has been copied, it has been cloned to game of life and say ls. Now you could see that guys, here what happened, right? If you do a git branch command, see right now you're working under the master branch, correct? So now you say that Rajesh, I don't want to work in the master branch because I'm not the developers doesn't do all kind of a code coming in the master branch. They try to do in some other separate branch. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me create a branch. So how to create a branch? I'll just say git branch, and something. I'll use the same thing. Sprint one underscore hyphen developer underscore develop, whatever. Sprint one underscore develop. This is a new branch which you are creating it, right? Git branch and sprint underscore develop. Now again, if you do a git branch, I could see that a new branch has been created. Okay. You want to shift into this from master branch to your sprint underscore branch, you have to say git checkout. So guys, these are all commands you should already know because we have already covered everything in our git class. Now you are switch to the sprint one underscore develop. Now if you do a git branch, now you could see that the active branch which you're working is under the sprint one underscore develop. So here what happened, the code commit will happen here. What are the new feature where the code commit has to be done by the developer, right? They're all we're doing here into the sprint one underscore develop branch. Clear? So let me do one thing, sir. Let me do one thing. I'm not doing anything. What I will do now, I will try to push this branch into our GitHub repository. So here right now, Rajesh, there is no sprint underscore develop branch is there, right? There's no sprint, only master is there. Can I push it, Rajesh? Can I push this branch here? Yes, you can push it, sir. So usually what happens, right? When you want to push it, what you will do, you are not doing anything, guys. Here, what you will do, you try to do a git push origin. Instead of master, you have to say sprint one underscore develop. But when you do your code push, git push origin master, it is asking for your username and the password. What is the username and the password? It is asking for the username of your GitHub and the password. So usually what happened, right? From 2021 August, I think 2021 August, in the year 2021, what GitHub did, right? They disabled the username, the password authentication. It means that whenever you want to do a code check-in into your GitHub, into a GitHub, right? They have disabled it. Instead of it, what they have did, you need to create some kind of a token. How to create a token? Go back to a GitHub account here. So this is a GitHub account, right? Right? GitHub account. Just watch carefully what I'm doing here. So this is a GitHub account. So here you have to click on here, and you could see there's a setting here. So this is nothing but your main GitHub setting here. You have to go to the GitHub setting here. Click on this GitHub setting. And if you go to the GitHub settings, come down here, and you could see that there's something like a developer settings. Click on this. Now you could see that there's a personal access token. It means that you need to create some kind of a token. Okay. Click on this. You could go with the classical, or you can go with the fine. I'll go with the classical. Okay, token classic. I'll go. Click on this. Now you could see that you are actually generating a new token. So generate a new token for which? For your classic. Click on this classic. It asks you for the password. Give your password. GitHub password. So as soon as give it, it says you that note. Okay, what is the token for? And you can give anything. It is for Jenkins actually. It is for my Jenkins integration. I need this pass. I need a token actually. How many days you want? By default, it is 30 days. You can even give 30, 60 days until node expiry. Usually, right, you won't keep tokens for a long time. You usually in the industry they give for 7 days. Actually, 7 days. It's a very small duration they give. And for what are the scope you need for this key? I need for everything, man. Let me select everything. I need for repo. I need for workflow. I need for write package. I need for delete package. I need for admin. You need for almost every activity, whatever you're doing, right? You need for everything. So by default, you do one thing, you go and select everything here. You might want to do any kind of an operation, right? You for that you need a token actually. So you are giving. Now you are saying generate token. So click on this. It will generate a token. See, this token has been generated. Copy this token somewhere and keep it within you. Keep it in some notepad. So what is it? This is nothing but the token. Git token. You can, I'll just say Git token. So this is a token, guys. So what is a token? Something RR4. Yeah. Or else you can just copy paste like this also. You can copy paste like this. Copy and paste it and keep it somewhere else. Keep it. This is always required. Okay. So once you generate this token, guys, now what happened, right? You go back to your home page here. And you know that you already cloned the game of life. Go to the game of life project. Now you could see that only one branch is a master. There's no other branches there. Fine. Okay. Now what you'll do that you are trying to do a when you try to do a git push origin master origin and the sprint one underscore dollar. This is a new branch, right? You are pushing the whole branch here into this GitHub repository. You want to push it here. You want to see one more branch by name sprint one underscore dollar. For that you are doing it. So here what is happening, guys? It is asking you for the give the username. If you go to my GitHub account, you could see that my user account name is git tech leads 23. Okay, tech leads 23. Tech leads 23. This is my username. Okay, what is the password? So for the password, guy, you have to give this token. Earlier you used to give the password. Now you need to provide the token. This is a new change which they have did it incorporated in 2021. So copy this and paste it like this and say enter. See, guys, you have did the see what is it? You have did the push of the whole branch only. See, if you come over here into the git, and if you try to do a refresh here, see, refresh one more time. Now you click on here. Can you see one more branch is there? Sprint one underscore develop. Click on this. See, you are under the sprint one branch. See? So you say that Rajesh, can I do a code build activity everything under this branch? Yeah, you can do that. That's the reason I have created a separate branch. Am I clear, sir, till here? Any doubts? Okay.
No,
That means that yeah, you need to do all kind of a code build activity. You need to do into this branch. This branch only you need to do a checkout and you need to build it. Everything you have to do. You're not doing everything under the master branch. Later on the night time when you are doing a night build, this sprint underscore develop, you need to merge with the master and then run a night build into the master branch like that or the release branch. Okay. So now what we are going to do, I will do one thing, guy. I will try to just run a job, a simple job. So I'll go to my Jenkins. Okay. What I will do here, I think I already have a game of life. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll create a game of life demo one is there. I'll try to create a demo two, but I will take a reference of the demo one only. So what I will do, I'll just go here, new item, game of life demo one, demo two, sorry, demo one. But already demo one is there. I'll give demo two. Okay, I'll select the free shell project. Right, come down here. You need to clone the whole code, a whole project of the demo one. So you will come here, copy from what is that game of life demo one. Okay, you're copying from the whole stuff. Fine. This is what I'm trying to do. Click on this. Good. Now here you have this is the project to run the game of life with the Java 8 3.6. Fine. So this I don't need it. Yeah. Restrict where this project has to run. Oh, you're giving the JDK 8. It means that you are running into the node 1 where the label is JDK. Fine. Good. Here the GitHub repository. You need to remove this. What is the GitHub repository, guys? Come over here. It's the same thing actually. You need to copy this GitHub underscore repository. Come over here, paste it. What is a branch you need to give? The branch is print one underscore dev. I already had written it. I already practiced it. That's the reason. But you need to give print one underscore develop. This is print one underscore develop. So you have to give the same branch. Print one underscore develop branch. Okay, fine. What you're doing? Okay, this is what in the source code you have mentioned. Fine. Okay, build a trigger and all we will see later. Now we are just trying to run, so invoke a top level maven target. Okay, you are set it as a you set it as a clean package, right? This and all I don't need as of now. If I need it I can do it, but okay, let it be all these things. So let me generate the okay. So let me generate the archive as well as let me generate all kind of a JUnit test. Everything I have managed here, and I'll just say apply and save it. Clear, guys? Now you are having, so this is as simple as what we did in last few sessions, right? Same thing we did. We restricted where you are running, and here instead of like we have given our own GitHub URL because we have cloned the game of life, and then you are giving from which branch you are trying to pull the code and everything, and finally what you're doing. So here under the build step, you are invoking the top level target, which you have seen that you are given the. So this is nothing but the by default text maven, and you could see that you are running the guild clean package, and here you are trying to archive the artifactory as well as publishing the test reports, which is nothing but the JUnit test report. And this we have all seen in the last session only. And I'll say save and apply. Now, guys, you'll try to trigger it. Now you'll just say build now. So if you're trying build now, see you could that already has triggered a job. This is build number one. Come over here. Now you could see that. See, it is running. It has already did a code checkout. It means that it has already cloned all the code. And finally, see, it is trying to do a test. Now, compile is over, test is over. And finally, what happens? See, it is getting passed. Okay, see, it is good. So it is archiving the artifactory as well as it has recorded the test reports. So how to check it? Come over here, go to the build one, and in the build one, can you see game of life artifactory? Where the test results? Here are the test results. Click on the test results. These are all the test results. Archive, where is the archive? Game of life.org. See, you got everything, you got it. So this is the same thing what we have did in a previous sessions. Now, guys, now if you go to the game of life, and here you could see that if you go to the configure, can you see here there is something a section of the build triggers. This is what I'm interested today. I'm interested to understand what this build trigger does actually. Okay. So now the very important here build triggers are nothing but these are the main thing which people use basically. The one is nothing but the build periodically, and other is a GitHub hook trigger from the Git SCM polling, and the last is a poll SCM. Guys, this is what the build trigger. Build trigger means actually automatically the build trigger should happen whenever any code check-in will taken place in the Git actually. So if you are selecting the poll SCM, what the poll SCM says that actually if suppose there is any code check-ins happening into the sprint one underscore develop branch, in this branch if any code is committed by any developer, automatically your build has to get triggered here. So here, what is the syntax you would give for the POLSM means, if you click on this, right, here you will get all, you will get star, 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 5 stars, hour, minute, hour, day of the month, day of the week. It is same thing like what we have a cron job base actually. So what I will do here, I'll give star, 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 star. 5 stars I will give. So first star means minute, second star means hour, third means day of the month, the fourth is day of the month, the fourth is a month, and the last is a day of the week. Like it means that actually, if you are selecting this Policium, what Policium will do? Policium will be keep polling to your Git URL, to this Git actually, to this Git URL, whether any new code change has been committed. Like here, what happened, right? Here, if you're giving first as a star, there are 5 stars. What is the first star? Means minute. Oh, it means that every minute I need to verify whether any new code changes has been committed into this GitHub account or into this project. Oh, okay. If there is any new commit has happened, or trigger the whole build, trigger the whole build. It means that automatic the build will get triggered. You need not to go and check to the build now. Like for example, okay, guys. Like for example, assume that guys here you could see that the game of life is there. Okay, in which branch you are there? I'm under the sprint one develop. Fine, because I want to do code check in here. Okay. So now what I will do, guys, initially I'll put everything star, star, star. Okay. And what I will do, I'll just say apply and save it. It means that, guys, if you go to the configure, under the build trigger section, guys, you have clicked on this poll SCM. Now, what the poll SCM will do, if you save, if you do a 5 star, and if you save and apply and save it, the poll SCM what will do, this particular Jenkins, what happened, right? The Jenkins will try to check always into this sprint one underscore develop if there is any new commit is happening. If there is any new commit is happening, then what happens? Automatically it has to trigger. It means that every minute it will be keep checking, every minute, every hour, every day it will keep checking, because you have mentioned 5 stars here. What you have mentioned here, 5 star, every minute, every hour, every day of the week, every month of the day, like that, every like every week, every month of the day, every month, every day actually, like that. These are the 5 stars which you have. It is same thing like a cron job what you have in Linux actually. And you have said that you have just did a save and apply. Now what happened, right? Now you could see that the second build is not triggered, because now there is no new commit code has happened. There's no new code commit has happened into it. Now you could see that even after 1 minute also, or after 1 minute also, you would not see any new build is triggered. Because why? Because right, no new code check-in has happened. Now what I will do, guys, I'll go over here. So let me do one thing. I'm into the sprint one underscore develop branch. Fine. So I'll do an ls. Now I could see that there is something, okay, game of life web is there. Okay, I'll go to the game of life web. Okay, ls, I'll go to the src, ls, I'll go to the main, and I'll go to the java, I'll go to the ls, I'll go to the com, vacalo, game of life, clear the screen. I'll say ls, website test, ls, controller. Oh my god, ls. Oh, see here some code is there. See, such a big path. So PWD command, I could see that under the game of life, web, src, main, java, com, vacalo. Under this path, guys, there is one file is a game controller.java homepage something, homepage controller.java. These are Java files, or these are source files. So let me do one thing. Let me do some kind of a changes into this file, because I want to do a code commit, right? So I'm opening this code, and what happened, right? I can add some changes, any changes you want. You can add it anything. It is immutable. Come over here. So what you can do here, I will add the change. So what I will do that, I'll just say private int something, like for example, get number, or else get number. So return 0 something. I'm just adding a code here. So just I wrote one function from the private int actually get number, and just, so this is a code change which I did it in this file actually. Save this file. Now you know that you have changed this file. Which is that file you have changed, guys? GameController.java, right? We have to do a git status here, status command here. Can you see here? Oh, okay, you have modified this file actually, right? Oh, now you need to do a commit and you need to push the code, right? So what I will do, I'll go back to my main branch, like I'll go back to here, game of life demo. Here I'll go to the game of life. Yeah, now I know that I did the code change here into this path, into this directory. Under this directory, I got this file, which is that game control.java. I've did change. So if I execute the git status, you'll get to know what is the change you did. Oh, okay. Under this file, game control.java, you have modified the file. Okay, fine. So what I'll do, I'll just say git add, okay, a game controller.java. Okay, you have to be on that path actually. Yeah, right. You have to just say git add game controller.java. Yeah. Now you do a git status. So it has been modified. Now we need to do a commit actually. You have to just run the command git commit -m. What you can do something like modified the game controller Java file, right? And then specify the file name. So you have committed it actually. Once you have committed it, guys, when you do a git status, now you already committed. There's nothing to commit actually. It has already been committed, right? So now you have committed the code. Now you need to push this code into your GitHub actually, where you have to push under your sprint one underscore develop. So what you will do, you will just say git push origin and just say sprint one underscore develop. So pushing it, while pushing it, ask you for the user and password. So I know that my username is uh, techleads23, right? Techleads23, techleads23, and I cannot give the password because even though I know the password, if I give the password somehow they disabled it. So you need to, whatever the token which you have generated, that is act like a password. You need to give this token, and you push it. See, now you have committed the code change, guys. Now you could see that automatically what happened, right? The build will be triggered. After 1 minute, you could see the build will be triggered. So I need to go and build now. I need to go and I don't want to have to go and click on the build now. Automatically, right? The build will be triggered. You could see after 1 minute, because you have under the configuration, you have under the build trigger section, you could see that second build has been triggered. See, I didn't do anything. Exactly after 1 minute, see, now you could see the build has automatically happened. See? And if you click on this, guys, if you click on this, you can see that build is building on the remote node 1, right? That's what. And then like you could see that the code changes, code commit, git checkout and happening, and all kind of various testing is happening. Finally the build is getting fast. Clear, guys? So now what happened, it has been done. Now you could see that if you, the second project has been built here also, you're doing the same thing. You're archiving the artifact as well as you are even archiving all kind of a JUnit everything. But if you click on this build, right, you could see that for what change this build got triggered, the second build. See, when you're doing a commit, if you remember, guys, when you did a commit, what you did here, you give the commit message modified game controller Java file. Can you see the same thing here? For what changes that happened? See, modify the game controller Java. See, Java file. For the same commit, what happened, right? The Jenkins triggered this job. Jenkins has triggered this job. Shall we do one more time? So go here. I'll do one thing. I'll try to open the same file. Now what I will do, I don't want this function. I'll remove it. This is also one of the change. Okay, I'll remove this line. I'll remove this line. I will remove this line. I removed all this line. So whatever the changes I did, I removed it. I'll just save this file. Again, I'll do a git add game controller Java. Fine. Then the git status. You could see that it is modified. Now I'll do a git commit -m modified or removed the changes in game, what is that, game controller.java file, and then give a file name, right, and say enter. Yeah, you are committed now. Now you want to do the push, you have to say git push origin, and you have to give the your branch name, sprint underscore develop branch. So you know that it'll ask you for the username and password. I know that my username is techleads23 and the password is not, but this is a token. Copy this and paste the token. Now you could see that you have pushed the code, guys. Automatically you could see that there's one more build will trigger exactly after 1 minute. See, so you see that the third build has been triggered. Right, and you can just click on this build. Now if you go to the build, you could see that for what changes this build was triggered. See, remove the changes in the case. See, you got this message. So whatever the commit message you're getting now, guys, so how it will know that? Because your Jenkins will be keep monitoring this build, it will be keep monitoring this branch. Once this monitor, any new commit has been come, right, automatically trigger the job, right? So that's the reason what happened, right? You could see that the build process is happening. It is already passed now, right? It's not only that actually. Suppose for example you come over here, right? You come over here and you go to your directory game of life. See, here you say that Rajesh, let me create a file, something like there's no readme.txt for this. Let me create a file by name readme. It's a new file you're creating. Let let me create a file readme.txt. Let me open that file. Just add something. This is the readme file to get the information about the project. Something you're writing some text inside the readme.txt and save this file. See, this is a new file which you have created, guys. Now, if you do a git status, you know that this is a new file, so I need to add it, git add, and then say readme.txt file, and do a git commit. Name added readme.txt file commit. Now you do a git push origin print one underscore develop. You are pushing this file. So tech leads 23 is a username. Password is not, but this is a token. So you push the file. It means that now you have pushed the file where into a repository. Now you see that if you try to refresh it, can you see your file has come here? See, it has just added down. Now you could see that automatically what happened, a new build will get triggered. See, the fourth build will trigger within 1 minute. So you do any kind of a commit, let it be you're removing a line, you're adding any new file, or to an existing content or existing file, you're adding any new changes. For every code commit, guys, a new build will get triggered. Right? Because under the trigger section, you have selected the policy. See, fourth build will get triggered in a minute. Yes, it has triggered now. Am I clear, sir, till here? Right? So if you go
Yes,
it
sir.
here, if you go to here, click on here. So it's already triggered. See, if you go and click on here, see, added a new for this change you are getting. Okay. Now you might ask the question, Rajesh, if I am doing within 1 minute, if 2 or 3 developers are doing again check in whether a new whether it will consolidate all the changes in one, or else it will trigger different builds. That's a question will come, right? Sometimes the question might come. Yeah, it means that suppose here you are giving a time slice of 1 minute. It means that the POL has to always check your Git check-ins, code commits for 1 minute every minute, right? But within a minute, there could be more than one or two happen, right? You might, like you might commit one or more two changes, right? Let's see whether see this build has been successful, and this is for this code change only, commit only. What happened? The build 4 has been triggered. Fine, good. So this is going on fine. This will go. This will get passed, no doubt, right? So this has passed now. So now let's see. Okay, now I'll do one thing. I will do the changes into the readme.txt, commit again, again do a changes, commit again. Twice I will do it so that you are doing twice, 2 times you're doing, right? So I'll open this readme.txt. So just say uh, adding line one, something, adding a line one, something, some change in the readme.txt. Do it, git commit -m. Okay, first commit something, first commit in readme.txt or readme file, specify the file name, and just say git push origin, and just say sprint one underscore develop. So tech leads 23 is a username. Password is nothing but is a password. So as soon as I did a code check-in, again what happened that I'll open the same file again. So I'll just do some changes here. So okay, something I'll add the changes. Now you'll see that git commit. So second commit, and then git push origin for tech leads 23. Okay, I'll give the password. It means that within a minute, 1 minute, you have did the 2 commits. Now, do you think that twice it will get trigger? It will not trigger. Fifth and sixth build will trigger. No, it will consolidate all the builds, all the commits, and only one build will get trigger actually. See, it consolidate all the triggers, and then only one build will be there. That will be triggered actually. See. So now, guys, what happens that if you go to this build, see, 2 commits. First commit in read one. Second, see, can you see that both the commits it has considered in only one build? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So you do n number of commits within 1 minute or 1 hour or whatever time which you have set in the poll SCM. Based on that, it will consult all the commits and it will just build only one time. But sometimes there might be a request or there might be a requirement that, hey, no, man, every developer, whatever commit is doing, no, for every developer, one build should be there always. It's not like I don't want all consulted, man. I want to every developer. There are 10 developers are there. 10 developers are committing the code. There has to be 10 build triggers should happen. Okay. Oh, if that is a requirement, what to do? Okay. So there is something known as a. Okay. Let this complete. Then we'll go with that. So you understood the question, guys. Now here what happened, right? The poll SCM, it will try to collect all the commits one at a time, and it will trigger one build actually. If the time slice is not expired, if the time slice is expired, that is here in this case it is 1 minute. See, if you go to your configure here, guys, in the poll SCM, here you are giving 5 stars. So first star means minute. Every minute what happened, the poll SCM will be keep checking. It means that Jenkins will be keep checking into your GitHub repository, into that sprint one underscore develop branch, right? There it will be checking and it will be verifying any new code commit has come or not every minute or every hour. The second slice every hour. It means that the minimum polling time is slice is 1 minute only, right? Now you say that, Rajesh, I don't want every minute. I want every once in 5 minutes. You can say */5. You can give like that. So if you're giving */5, it means that every 5 minutes you need to always do a polling, right? Every 5 minutes, right? Or every 10 minutes. Or sometimes what happens, right? You don't want to build always within one minute. You want to always build within 30 minutes. So every time, right? Every 30 minutes, what happened? Your Jenkins job will be keep looking into any new commit has happened. So whatever the new commit has happened, there could be some one commit or there could be 10 commits. Everything, all 10 commits will be taken together and a single build will be triggered, right? Now you say that, Rajesh, the problem is that actually I don't want I don't want it to uh, uh, happen for all the consolidated commits what has been done by all the developers. I need for each and every developer, whatever is committing, right? I need a single build for that. For that, guys, you need to click or you need to select this GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling. So these are small difference they'll ask in interview. What is the difference between poll SCM and the GitHub hook trigger? You have to tell this, sir. In the poll SCM, right? It depends upon the times. What is your fixed, right? If there are n number of commits has happened, all the commits should be considered one. Everything will be taken consideration in only one build. Means only one build will be triggered. Whereas a GitHub hook trigger, right? For each and every commit, there will be single build. If 10 developers are pushing the code, 10 times there will be build actually. Clear, guys? This difference you understood, right? It's not that difficult, right, to understand, right? Are you facing any difficulty in understanding? No, right?
No, 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 sir. We are following.
Yeah, it's easy only, right? It's not that difficult. Okay. So now, guys, what happened right here? So we already configured, right? So what are the things we configured? Let me write the notes here. Configured a builds where build is triggered, where build is triggered for where the build is created, not triggered, created for every commit actually, right? So day build will be started when the developer pushes the changes to the branch actually. So usually day build to be started when any developer pushes the changes to the branch. So here in our case, the branch is sprint one underscore develop branch. Correct, guys? Okay. So that's what we have configured it. So we have configured a job which is nothing but your game of life demo 2. That is what we have configured it. So game of life demo 2. Game of life demo 2. This job which we configured it. Right? So okay. Now after this, what happened right here? If you come to this poll SCM here. Now, you know that these are the 5 stars actually, 5 star. If you want to understand everything, you click on this question mark. It will take you to help menu where it will tell you what is the star is all about. What is first star is all about, second star is all about, third star, everything. They are given description elaborately, they have given the description also. Okay. So now what happened, guys? Because let's suppose sometime what you say that Rajesh, I want to trigger this build, but I need to trigger the build at 11:30. How to trigger the build at 11:30? Every day from Monday to Friday, I need to trigger the build at 11:30, right? I need to trigger the build at 11:30. So here under that case, what happened, guys? There is one, there's some site is there, no, contab.guru. So this is a site always you have to go it actually. Okay. So now you say that Rajesh, every day at 10 o'clock, I need to trigger a build. Every day at 10 o'clock, I need to trigger a build. Okay. And I need to trigger a build on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. How to do that actually? See here. So to do what you have to do that, you have to give every 10 o'clock, right? I'll say 0 hours, 10. First is 0, 10. Third is star, I'll give nothing, star. And what you're saying, you are trying to give Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday is 1, Wednesday is 3, and Friday is 5. Can you see here, right? At 10 on Monday, Thursday, Friday. So that build will get triggered. So this is what the syntax you're taking. So it means that, see, what if you do a next year? Can you see a next year? You'll get to know everything. Oh, okay, on 23rd, today at night to 10 o'clock, whatever the job is that will get triggered. Okay. Okay. Next, when it is getting triggered, see, today, okay, because this is under the under your this one, right? See, today is Saturday, but what happened, right? This cron tab is actually working based on the MST time. So there it is still Friday only there. So now what is happening that there it is triggering at 10 o'clock. See, 25th again it will be triggering. 26th again will be triggering 10 o'clock. And 30th will be triggering. So based on the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? So 25th is when? 25th. 25th is again on Wednesday only. 27th, again it is on Friday. Again, first 30th is on Monday. Like that, Monday, Wednesday. That's how you have to give. The last star, guys, the first star represents the minute. The second star represents the hour. Minute means 0th minute. Hour means 10th hour. Day, which day? Oh, you're not giving that star. Month means you are not giving anything star. And here day, which day of the week? One is nothing but Monday. Two is two is nothing but the Tuesday. Three means nothing but Wednesday. Four means Thursday. Friday. Four is nothing but Thursday. Five means it is Friday. Friday actually. Like that, you are giving a number 1, 3, and 5 for this. Here they are given the description. right? What is 016 is all about, right? Like that. Like for example, one more example we'll take. Like for example, you say that Rajesh, every Saturday, Sunday at 10 o'clock, I need to trigger a build. Okay, this is all correct, but every Saturday and Sunday. So it means that you can select like this. 0 is Saturday, Sunday, and 6 is not but Saturday. See, like that. Okay, fine, good. So now you say that Rajesh, uh, every day at 11 a.m. So let me write something here so that you will get to know. So for the cron job, for the cron to understand, you can visit the site crontab.guru. This is a good site, guys, where you will learn about this. Tab group. Okay. Here, what is we'll do some exercise. We will do some exercises. What are the exercises we'll do? Okay. You say that Rajesh run every day at 11 a.m. as well as at 7 p.m. night, both 11 a.m. 7 p.m. every day you run some job. Actually, this is my requirement. So how you set a cron job for that? Okay, run for every 2 hours. Correct. And what is the other thing? Anything else you want to? Okay, run at 11 p.m. night actually. 11 p.m. night. Means every day you run every day 11 p.m. night. Fourth one, something like run at 1 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So this is all my exercise actually. Small exercise. So how you will achieve? So run every day at 11 and 7 p.m. Right? So every day at 11 and 7 p.m. What you will do, guys, here? So 11 a.m. It means that 0, 11. Okay. 11 and what is it? 11 and 7 p.m. 7 means it is 18, 19, right? Oh, 19. Okay. And then you say star, star, star. See, every 11 and 19th hour, run the job. So when the next will happen, see, again at 11, again at 19, again at 11, again at 19, like that you'll get. So always you have to click on next to check it, how things happens. So every day at night 11 o'clock, morning 11 and 19 hours, that job has to get executed. So we have fulfilled this one, right? So how to do this? Copy this, and this is what you have to set it like this. So run every 2 hours. Run every 2 hours. How you do it, guys? Every 2 hours means, so first is 0, okay? 0 is 0th hour. Second is star every hour, but every once in 2 hours. So you have to say /2. And then say star, star, star. See, every past 2 hours, see, the job has to get. First, it is executed at 10 o'clock now, 12 o'clock night, and 2 o'clock morning, 4 o'clock, 6. See, every 2 hours, right? It will be doing it. So you have to copy this, and this is the solution. Got it, guys? I'm making a life simple to understand how things works. So when you're working, right, you need to know all these things also. So every day run night at 11 p.m. So what is the night at 11 p.m. every day, guys? 11 p.m. means it is 23 hours, right? So 23 hours, star, star, star. See, every day night at 11. See, every day, 21st night 11 p.m., 22nd 11 p.m. So night every day you are running this job. So this is what you need to configure like this. Okay, now you know morning every day 1 o'clock, you know that. So what you will do? 0, 1 o'clock, 1, star, star, star. See, every day at 1 o'clock you will be running this job. Simple, guys. This is the exercise for you. You can even have some more exercise. You can yourself you can set up exercise and you can do it.
I think last one is only Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, only Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Then 1, 0, comma 6 like this. Right? Yeah. This is what it is. Like this. Right, guys? Okay. Now this is what the cron job is. Now come back to your game of life here. Okay, Rajesh, I understood now. Based on it, based on the time setting, what happened that the poll SM will be keep checking. Now you say that Rajesh, It is irrespective of whether I do a code check-in or not, periodically the build should always keep happening. So when it will happen, you know that Rajesh, every day night, right, at 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. at the day, at the night builds, right, I need to trigger the build, or at 11:30 I need to trigger the build. So what happened, right? You need to go to the periodic build. See, if you check on clear build here, what it build is that Rajesh, every day night at 11:30, 23:30, I need to trigger the build. So I don't want this poll SCM, irrespective of whether the code build or a code commit is happening or not. I need to trigger every time, every day, periodically. Here also you can say star 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 everything. It means that every minute it will be keep building, irrespective of whether any code commit is happening or not into your sprint one underscore develop. It should keep going on. So in that way, guys, you will be using build periodically. So build periodically will be taken care. When you will be doing this, when you are actually, when you want to do some kind of a night builds. Oh, okay, I know that Raj, every day I want to build it, or else you know that from every day Monday to Friday. So you will just say 1, 5 like this. So it means that from Monday to Friday at exactly 11:30 at night time, right? This build should trigger, because this is nothing but this is a night build. You want to trigger like this. You will be using. And here what happened, right? You know that if you come over here, okay, if you come over here, you have a question mark. Suppose you say that Rajesh, I want to build. There is something like a TF, right, guys? Time zone. Time zone is there. And if you come down, if you are in London, right, you have to use this one. And if you are in India, you have to use Asia slash what is that? Calcutta. Where is it, guys? Asia, ASIA, right? Is it? Yeah, this is what you have to use. So you have to copy this. So you saying that Rajesh, every day Asia timing, right? I need to build it. So you have to just give like this. Before like this, you have to give this say TZ time zone is equal to Asia Calcutta. Like that you have to give. And then at the below you have to give this time actually. Is it clear, guys? And you have to say save and apply. Now what happened, right? Every day night time at 11:30 Asia time, right? That build will be keep going on. Right? Clear? Okay, fine, good. Okay. So this keep happening, this periodically happen every day at night, right? From Monday to Friday, this will keep triggering. Fine. But you have something very much interesting, that the interesting point is GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling. This is very much interesting, and I could see that most of the time in the industry, right, they're using this option under the build trigger, guys. These are the options which they are using actually. GitHub hook trigger for Git. What it say that? So why your Jenkins job should be keep polling to your Git? Why it should keep polling with Git? Because there also what happened, right? Some kind of a Jenkins CPU, like some kind of a Jenkins is involved in doing polling, right? So when you're using poll SCM, you could see that you give star 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 5. It means that every minute the poll or not, but your Jenkins should be keep polling to your GitHub account and into this branch, and it should check whether any new code commit has happened or not, happened or not. If it is not happening, okay, don't trigger the job. If it is not happening, so every minute it will be keep checking. It means that it also involves some kind of a usage of the Jenkins, right? Jenkins server, right? So you don't want to do that actually. What you need it actually, you say that, okay, Rajesh, if there is any new code commit is happening into this code, then only trigger the job. If no commit is happening, nothing to be done. Got it? So it means that if the 10 developers are developing the code, if they are doing 10 code commits into this GitHub account or into this sprint one underscore develop branch, right? Then only the build should happen. Otherwise, Jenkins will be keep sitting quiet. As soon as the code commit will happen, it means that, oh, the Jenkins should trigger a job. Oh, it means that Rajesh, something kind of a, you need to add some kind of webhooks. So what we call it as a webhooks. So in terminology, people usually use this word sometimes, integrate Jenkins with GitHub. They say actually. This is the terminology we use actually in industry. They said, hey, have you did an integration of GitHub with Jenkins? If you go for interview also, they'll ask, you did an integration of your Jenkins with GitHub actually. That is not a big thing actually. It is something like you are adding a webhooks actually. Webhooks. How to do this actually? How to do this? So, okay, let me check 1 second. So we already passed 1 hour 30. So we'll just try to do this activity and we will stop our session. It's already more than 1.5 hours now. Okay. So how to do this? This is very interesting, guys. Okay. This, I mean, many times they'll ask it. It is not that big deal to understand. It is very simple actually. Okay. So now what happened, right? You're integrating, you're adding a webhook actually. How to do that? Now you have to do certain things here. Now what I have to do that? This is my, okay, I'll do one thing, guys. I will just disable this. Okay. And I'll just whole apply. I'm not triggering the periodic build. So I'll go to my account here. So this is my GitHub account, and within the GitHub account, I have did a fork of this game of life. So this is the game of life. You are under this print one underscore develop, right? You are under this branch. Good. Now what you're doing that you need to add a GitHub. You need to add a web GitHub web. How to do that? You could see that there is something like settings. So each and every project, right? It has something under settings actually. Okay. Click on the settings here. If we click on the settings here, can you see here there is something like a webhooks. This is what I need. Okay, I need to add it webhooks. Okay, click on this webhook. Now it is asking you that add a webhook actually. If you click on this add webhook, right, it is asking me that you need to give the Jenkins URL. Okay, come back here, go back to a dashboard. This is your Jenkins URL. Copy this Jenkins URL and paste it here. But along with that, you have to even give GitHub hyphen hook hyphen webhook. Like this you have to give and say slash. This is the thing which you need to add in this. So what you're doing here, so how to do that? Step number one. So under the project or under your GitHub project, GitHub fork project, you can see, you can go through your settings. So under the settings, guys, under your settings, and the left hand side, you can see webhooks. Click on it. Click on to the webhooks. So after clicking on, you will get this page. So under this, you need to give a payload URL. What you have to give here? You have to give your Jenkins URL like this. Plus, you need to even add GitHub hyphen webhook and then say slash. Like this, you have to give it. Okay. And what is the content type? Okay, I'll go with the application JSON. Fine. Here it is asking for the secret password. What's the secret password? Now, guys, whenever you go for your GitHub account, so I am logged in as a Rajesh. So Rajesh has to have a token actually. He need to create a secret token. How to create a secret token? Here you could see that Rajesh's account. If you click on this here, can you see there is something like a configure? Yeah. Click on this configure. Now you could see that API token. So never use. So let me do one thing. Let me remove this. Okay, I am removing the older token. Let me generate a new token. Add a new token. Click on this. Add a new token. Just generate it. So see, a token, new token has been created. Copy this new token. So this is nothing but your uh, Jenkins or your Jenkins API token. So copy this token actually. So you have this. So again, you can do copy like this also. Okay, you can copy it or else you can copy paste it. So this is a new token which has been generated, right? And you have to say apply and save. Apply and save and apply. Fine. Now once you did it, come over here in the add up good. So give this token here. What are the token you have copied, right? That you need to give as a secret here. Copy it actually. And then you do a add webhook. Once you add a webhook, you could see that there's a green mark. See, it is success. It means that you have added the webhooks here. Correct, guys? So where you have added into your GitHub, into the project, you have added the webhook here. So always you should get turned into the green color. If it is something like a red color or something, right? Oh, it means that it is not working properly. This is how you have to add a webhook. After doing that, come over into the Jenkins here. Go back to your dashboard. Go back to your game of life demo 2. Come over to the configure. And then here you select your build trigger as GitHub trigger, hook trigger for GitHub. It means that whenever you're doing a code check-in into your game of life, right, into a sprint one branch, then only what happened, automatically the build should get triggered. So you save, apply and save it. Now come over here. Now you could see that you are having a 5 builds are there. Now what I'll do, I'll do a code push now into the sprint one underscore develop. Now you could see that actually what is happening, that a new build trigger will automatically happen. So whenever there's any code change happening, then only the build will happen. Otherwise the build will not happen. Come over here, go back here. I'll open again the same readme.txt file. Okay. What is that? Adding the third line, adding line 3. That's all. We're just doing some change. That's all. And do a git commit -m added third line in readme.txt, readme file, and specify the file name readme.txt. Now we do a git push origin and then say sprint underscore develop. Ask you for the username, give the username and techleads23. Ask you for the password, give this token password, whatever the password you have, right? This is a token, right? Your git token, right? This is a token, this is a password, right? You have to give the git. So as soon as you did the commit, can you see, guys? Sixth build will get triggered. Automatically it get triggered now only. See, I'm not doing anything. I'm not triggering anything build now. Automatically. So once you do an immediate commit, right, a build will start happening it. So how you did it? Because that under your configuration, under your build trigger, you have selected this option. Once you selected the option, you need to do add webhook. How you do it? You go to the settings and go to your webhooks. There you have already added this, right? So that's the reason what happened, right? This build is going on. See, the sixth build is going on. See, now it is also passed, right? Same thing. One more time we'll do so that you will get confirmed how things work. So readme.txt file again added, adding line 4, whatever. I mean, save this file, do a git commit -m, and let's say added 4th line in the readme.txt file, and then do a git push origin sprint one underscore develop. Username is techleads23. Password is nothing but your GitHub token, whatever we have generated right at the time. Give this. Now you have did a commit. See, as soon as you do the commit, see, immediately 7th build will start. See, is it clear, guys? Still here?
Yes.
Good, right? Today you
Yeah.
understood something like how build trigger happens.
Yeah.
So usually in the project or in the industry, always they will try to use this option only. Most of the time, this option only they will use it. We'll see that option in the build trigger. GitHub hook triggers this whenever you're doing night builds. When you're doing night builds, right, at that time they will set it. So because this is a radio button, guys, you can always have only one option. So for the night builds, what they will do, no, they will not have this job. They'll create a separate job actually. Got it? Separate job they will create. Something like they will come here and they will create a new job. Something like this. Nightly builds. See, nightly game of life build. They'll freestyle project, they'll make it and they'll clone it to game of life demo 2. See, they'll try to create this nightly branch like this, night branch. And here what happened in the build trigger section, they will always go with this like this build. And you know that every day night. So TZ, your time zone is nothing but your Asia hyphen Calcutta, whatever is there. And then like here you will trigger the job. Okay, every day at 11:30, like 23 hours, star, Monday to Friday, I need to run this build job. And here what happened, right? You will not give this, sprint underscore one develop. So what is the branch you will give, guys? What is the branch you will give here? You'll give the branch of master. Guys, you give the master branch like this. Or whatever the release branch, whatever release branches that you will give. Okay, invalid support. Okay, there is something like TZ is equal to, okay, A is capital actually. Or else I'll copy it. What is it? Asia / Calcutta. So these are all very important, guys. They will ask in an interview also sometime about this. You should be ready to answer all these things. This though it's very simple, but only conceptually you should know all these things actually. So you need to give right like this and apply it. So it means that you have configured a separate build by name nightly game of like build. So this will be triggered every day night 11:30, right? So that's how it works like this actually. So guys, I hope today you understood, and I'm very thankful that you stayed for so long time. And like we did today, we also learned about how to integrate the GitHub with your Jenkins, right? That we learned today, and that's how. Tomorrow, what we will be doing, right? Tomorrow we'll be learning about the. We'll have an introduction class on uh, pipelines actually. So tomorrow's session, what is tomorrow's agenda? Tomorrow we will learn. We will learn about pipelines. So pipelines is not but scripted pipelining versus declarative pipeline. This is what we will be learning, declarative pipeline. Yes, tomorrow we'll just kickstart this one. This would it'll itself will take around 2 to 4 hours. It will take this session. 4 hours it will take. So by next 2 classes we'll be able to complete this scripted pipeline. So this is what which is important in industry. So apart from this, we'll also be showing like how to do a email integration, how to send a email notification, and all so many things comes under this. So we'll be learning all these things, right? So tomorrow I will let you know at what time I will take so that we can all join. Maybe evening 5 o'clock I might take tomorrow, 5 to 7, or if you need early also we can take at 4 o'clock, 4 to 6. We can complete and we can do. Tomorrow morning I'm little busy with some other work, so that's the reason I'm not able to take tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening or tomorrow night I can take it. Okay. So today we had covered a major topic of build triggers. This is what we covered today. Is it clear, guys? Fine then. Chalo. If you don't have any doubts, we can
Rajesh,
join. Yes, sir.
I yes, sir. I just wanted to know like how to add the build parameters and all.
That after this, sir,
Okay, sir.
after this scripted pipelining, right? We need to
Okay, sir.
learn about what are the build parameters, how to pass a build parameters. These are
Okay,
next topics. We have a lot of topics are available, sir.
okay, sir.
Check-ins and all. Yeah.
And one more thing, like I have one job, but I wanted to create multiple branches for that job only. Is it possible, sir?
Yes, sir. It's possible. I'll be taking all those things at the end actually.
Okay, okay,
So after this build parameters, we'll also be saying that upstream and downstream project. What is upstreams and downstream?
okay,
So these things are very important, sir. Downstream projects,
okay, sir. Okay.
project execution. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And also build pipelines.
Build pipelines, but is script pipeline only. Scripted or declared pipeline is build pipelines.
Okay, 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 sir.
Yeah. We'll start it because I thought I will take it at the end, but we'll start now only because you will get to know why we are learning the pipeline, why we have to get into pipeline. We will be learning now itself,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
right?
Okay.
Sure. So that's all for the day today. Hmm?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you, guys. Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you.